Hello, this is the Campbell Catastrophe, or Campbell's Catastrophes. I genuinely don't know anymore. I forgot what I originally named it, and I've pretty sure typed two different things on the YouTube channel. So at this point, it's whatever you want to call it, and today we're going to be talking about panic attacks. So a panic attack is basically just panic and anxiety attacks. They're basically just when you lose control, to put it in the simplest way possible. Simplest way, because it is a lot more than that, but very, 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 very oversimplified. You lose control. So, for those of you that don't know what a panic attack looks like, it's different for everybody. But generally, the most common one, is what I should probably say, is the person their heart rate will quicken, their breathing will become irregular, they will have very fast breaths, basically to the point of hyperventilation. And their heart is racing, so they are shaking a lot, normally just in one body part, but sometimes it does spread depending on how severe it is. Usually it's just an arm or leg, but it can spread to just both legs, or just right arm, right leg, left arm, left leg. It usually isn't right arm, left leg. Normally it's either both right and both left, if it's two. But that only happens when it gets super severe. And then the person, they will look very panicked. Think of the most panicked and stressed you've ever seen somebody, and then quadruple it. Because a lot of times, especially if they've never experienced a panic attack before, or have only experienced one or two, they will be very scared. Because it is a very scary thing to go through. You lose control over your body. It's not good at all. And if you see someone having a panic attack around you, one of the best things to do is just, if you're at school and see it, if you know the person and are comfortable around them, just grab onto their arms, try to comfort them and calm them down. Just tell them to take deep breaths, because once you get control of your breathing, it's a lot easier to slow yourself down. It still isn't easy, but it does make it a lot less hard. So just also try to, if they're standing, have them sit on a chair or the floor. Have them sit, lay down, just try to make them relax their body. Because, as I said, they will be shaking. Just ask them if you want them to get you anything, like a drink or a snack or something. If you have snacks on hand, you'd be at school, so you probably wouldn't. And if it does get extreme, and just try to take them out to the hall or something, let them breathe some more without people staring at them. But it would also probably be best to just walk with them, because as I said, they're shaking. A lot of times if it's the legs, walking can be very difficult, because you're walking and one of your legs is kind of just spazzing out. Very difficult to walk. And they will most likely be crying, vision blurred, and very, very scared. So definitely walk with them and make sure that they get to either the nurse's office or guidance counselor's office. If there's no one in there, take them to the office and they will take care of it. But just make sure the person knows that they're safe with you, and make sure that they keep focusing on their breathing. If you're not in school and see something like that happen, just see if there's anyone around you that has well, if there's anywhere you can go, just get like food or drink for that person if they want it, because, it does help calm everything. Ask the person if there's like anyone that they'd want you to call, like a parent or something, because the parent would more than likely know how to calm someone down. Now, ask if you want them to like get some anxiety meds out of their bag or something, because some people who have very extreme attacks very frequently, they would probably have some sort of medication or something. But that's just what to do if someone else is having one. And so we're going to move on to if you're having one. Now, like I said, attacks look different for everybody. And I'm only going to be talking about the general attack, what it looks like and all that, because it's the one that I go through. I've been dealing with attacks for a while, so I have some hands-on experience and research with this. So if you yourself are having an attack, it is very scary. So very incredibly scary. Now, my attacks, what usually happens, I've had one recently, so I guess I'll just walk you through that one, since it's obviously the one I remember most right now. So I was just sitting in class. I was in Mrs. Ross's radio and television class. I was actually writing a script for a podcast about panic attacks, and then I was just talking to someone about them, just talking about like how kind of dumb some of the stuff on Pinterest is. Like repeating a positive phrase, it doesn't work for me, might work for you. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work, it just doesn't work for me. So I was just saying how silly I find it, and then I get back to my work, writing a script for the podcast and all. And then all of a sudden, it just hits like a wave. I was suddenly like hyper aware of my heartbeat and how fast it was going. And I started breathing rapidly. And then my arms started to shake a lot. Now, usually, I can kind of suppress my attacks just because I've been having them so frequently for so long. I am now on anxiety medication, but before I was on the medication, I had a panic attack about every month. And I was having them for, once a month. I was having them since, I think it was 6th or 7th grade. And just in my sophomore year is when I finally said something to my mom, and we got me into the doctor's office, and I got prescribed anxiety medication. And it has helped tremendously. But I've had a lot of attacks. And so, what I have gotten very, very, scary good at suppressing an attack, which is not healthy at all. Do not do it. You need to get somewhere like the guidance counselor's office where you feel safe. Do not suppress an attack, because it will come back and it will be worse. So, what I did, I was hiding my attack, just suppressing my nerves, forcing myself, and it's awful. Basically, forcing my entire body to shut down, which you probably will not be able to do if you've only had, a few panic attacks, or if you haven't had one before, because it is rather difficult and you still have no idea what's going on. But I basically shut down every single emotion, because if my stress or any emotion spiked up, then my focus would slip on keeping control over my body, and I would start to hyperventilate and my pulse would quicken again. And I'd have another little itty-bitty snippet of an attack before I could regain composure. That is not healthy. Do not do that at all. Very unhealthy. Do not do it. Got that? Good. So I was having a little bit of attack, quickened pulse, hyperventilating a little bit, arm shaking. Tried to control it, but it came back again. And at this time, I was on my medication for just a few days past 3 weeks. I just had my 3-week checkup a few days before. So it was my first attack when I was on my medication. So I was really scared because I was not prepared or thinking I was at a risk for one that soon. So it just caught me off guard, and I wasn't able to control it. I started getting very dizzy and lightheaded. Everything seemed to be moving at a mile a minute. So I realized what was going to happen. I was going to break down entirely. So Mrs. Ross knows I've had attacks in the past. I got up, just told her I needed to leave. Do not ask to leave. Tell your teacher that you need to leave. And a lot of times they can recognize what's going on. And if they can't, just say it, I am having a panic attack, or I think I'm having a panic attack. And they will make sure that you get where you need to go. But I got myself out. Got myself to the guidance counselor's office. Actually, no, there wasn't anyone in the office at that time. There's no one in the nurse's office. So I went to the normal office. Mrs. Harmon saw me and we went into her room, which is the nurse's office. I had my attack, which was a lot of me fighting for control in my own brain. Because when you're having an attack, or at least when I have mine, you are very scarily susceptible to very negative thoughts, very scary negative thoughts. And you are just trying so hard to regain control of your own brain. Because those thoughts, they're telling you things that aren't true about yourself. For me, they're just telling me how I am like an awful person. I don't deserve anything that I have. I don't deserve my friends. They're telling me it's awful things like that, and how, I don't know. I try to usually forget the things because I know they're not true. Everybody deserves good friends. It really just brings you down because you're losing control and you're scared, and all these negative thoughts are just coming to you. Like you're weak, you can't get control, and like you're weak and awful for that. But really, no, you aren't. If you're having an attack like that and you're fighting it, you are so strong. And you need to know that if you're having an attack, you are one of the strongest people that I know. If you can just go through that, and if you can win against it, or even if it just takes a while for you to get your composure back and get control, you are one of the strongest people I know. I might not even know you, but it takes so much to get through that. And I am always here for you. But that's what happens. Your body goes crazy, and then your mind. And you can never get your train of thought back when you're having one. I mean, you can't focus on a single solitary thing. Your mind is running rampant. Your mind is trying to convince you of so many negative things, and you can't get control. And I'm a very self-aware person when I'm having my attacks. So it is like I'm fighting a battle with myself. A little part of me is still in there when I'm having my attack, and it's just screaming like, no, this isn't right. I should have control. This isn't happening. Those things aren't true. Because they aren't. But it is happening. I am losing control over my body, and I'm losing a little bit of control over my mind, and they're scary. They genuinely are, because trying to be okay after that, and a lot of times people don't know what an anxiety attack or panic attack is, so they just think, oh, the person's just throwing a fit or something. Like, that's a teenager having a tantrum. No, it isn't. It is not. It's very different. But a lot of times when you have one, you have to walk back out of wherever you came from, acting like you're okay. And acting like you didn't just go through hell. Mrs. Ross, I'm sorry if I can't say that on here. I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't be able to, but I'm sorry if I can't. Well, anyway, you have to act like you're okay after doing that, and a lot of times you cannot show any signs that happened. You have to make sure your eyes aren't puffy, they aren't red, that you don't look tired. And it's very hard because you are so drained. It's like I said, you're hyperventilating. Your pulse is going so fast. Your mind is racing. You are exhausted after that. It takes so much out of a person. But you just have to act like you're okay. And that's insanely hard. Like, seriously, if you can do that, you're awesome. I feel so bad that anyone has to go through something like that. Especially at our ages. Nobody should have to. Not one person. But if you do, well, I just want you to know that it's more common than you think. And you know what? I really recommend talking about it to someone you trust. It can be really hard to open up about it. Like, insanely hard. It took me a while to open up to my best friends about it. It's an insane amount of trust because, like I said, a lot of people don't know what they are. They just think it's a teenager throwing a temper tantrum or something. But no, your mind is getting ripped apart. And you can't control it. I mean, your brain is tearing yourself apart. It's finding every little bit of happy that you have and destroying it. That's what's going on. And getting control, it's hard. And you can't help it. I'm just going to say it. You can't. There's really not much stopping the monster. You can get control over it, but you can't exactly stop it from happening. When it is happening, though, you can use grounding techniques and breathing techniques, and those do help, but those do really, really help. Just try finding 5 things that you see, 4 things that you touch or can feel, 3 things that you hear, and then just like something that you can taste or smell. But just getting back grounded into your surroundings. Do that and it will make a difference. It will help you get past it faster. It will still be hard and awful, but it does help you get back into a more correct state of mind faster. Not a miracle cure, but it does help. Let's see, what else helps? When you're done having your episode, food and sleep, because you're exhausted, and you're exhausted. I mean, you just like burnt through like so many calories, you need to refuel. And seriously, you just put your mind and body through hell. You need sleep. You need time to heal. But you know what? Talk to somebody about it. Talk to a parent, a counselor, a teacher, a best friend, a boyfriend, girlfriend. Somebody, a sibling, anybody. Talk to somebody about it. I cannot stress it enough. It's torture to go through it alone. I got a lot more comfortable with my attacks when I opened up about them. And now I'm doing it on a podcast. I am freely talking about it on a podcast. If you have attacks, you know how hard it is to talk about it with people you care about. So it's, I'm proof right here that it is possible. It is possible to eventually, after a lot of work, like I said, I had my first attack in like 6th or 7th grade, and just now in my sophomore year, am getting put on Lexapro, which is an anxiety medication. Because at this point, it isn't really just me overreacting to things. It is a chemical imbalance in my brain, which is actually what it is for a lot of people. But, mental health is something that nobody likes to talk about, so people often go undiagnosed, which really sucks. People should, fix that in the healthcare system. But, that's a story for another time. So just talk to people about it, and if you have them frequently, you may need to see somebody about either getting put on medication, which I do not recommend unless it is very severe. Okay? Just because you had a panic attack does not mean that you need to be put on medication. That is like, last resort. But, try medication. Well, if it's needed, medication, but therapy would also help if it's an actual thing that it's causing stress. If you have a stressor, just talking about it would probably help. But if they do come out of nowhere and you're getting randomly stressed, like when there's nothing to be stressing about, that could be a chemical imbalance and medication could be needed. But you know what? I just hope that this helps someone feel more comfortable about their attacks and feel a little more confident in reaching out. Because, you know what? Parents will be more accepting than you think. I thought my mom would tell me that I was over-exaggerating, but she got me help. She took me to the doctor's office, and I talked to the doctors about it, and you know what? They're pretty cool about it. And they will understand, and they will not judge you. You're safe, okay? So tell a parent about it and take further steps from there. But I hope this helps. Until next time.